MSNBC is not happy. Well, when are they ever happy? But they're especially unhappy with, of course, who else? Elon Musk. According to the woke warriors over at MSNBC, Elon Musk is a hypocrite. We're going to see what's got the leftists over at MSNBC all bent out of shape. And if you stick with me to the very end of this video, I'll show you precisely why leftists are the biggest hypocrites of them all. You are not going to want to miss this. MSNBC is experiencing their usual hysterics today, accusing Elon Musk of, quote, quietly suspending left-leaning Twitter accounts for ideological reasons, all the while reinstating far-right accounts that broke Twitter's rules in the past. Now, you'll notice in that statement no mention whatsoever the fact that those Twitter rules, we now know, those terms of service, were often flouted by Twitter employees as they censored content in accordance with their own left-wing sentiments in cooperation with Democratic politicians and deep state operatives, as the internal documents and emails and the Twitter files made absolutely clear over the weekend. So I think that's a rather telling omission on the part of these left-wing activists disguised as journalists over at MSNBC, who supposedly are so concerned about hypocrisy. Regardless, MSNBC is very concerned that Elon Musk is indeed busy turning Twitter into a massive platform for what they call the far right. And he's doing so by reinstating right-wing accounts that were previously banned, while at the same time he's supposedly banning left-wing accounts. Now, this MSNBC piece cites a report by The Intercept, which details how Musk has, over the past week or so, actively suspended a number of what MSNBC calls notable left-wing accounts notable for, quote, documenting right-wing activity. Would you like to take a guess as to what these accounts really are? Well, according to the Intercept report, these are all primarily Antifa accounts, or as they call them, anti-fascist organizers and journalists. That's right. We now have Antifa journalists, folks. Let this hit you. Propagandists for Antifa are whining and complaining that they're being mistreated. Antifa. But then again, Antifa is just an idea, right? According to the man who can't even ride a bike. But according to The Intercept, all the accounts that have been suspended, quote, had been singled out for criticism by Andy Ngo, a far-right writer whose conspiratorial, error-riddled reporting on left-wing protests and social movements has fueled the mass delusion that Antifa is not just a handful of small anti-fascist groups that counter right-wing threats, which it is, but a shadow army of domestic terrorists, which it is not. Musk is apparently among those who have mistaken Ngo's largely fictional reporting for fact. In a public exchange on Twitter on Friday, Musk invited Ngo to report Antifa accounts that should be suspended directly to him. Conspiratorial, error-ridden reporting. It's funny. I wonder if The Intercept ever referred to the New York Times or the Washington Post in that way. You know, the whole Vladimir Putin stole the 2016 election. Hunter Biden laptop was nothing more than Russian disinformation. J6 was insurrection. What is a woman? What is a recession? You know, all that stuff. Well, no, of course they didn't. Not to my knowledge, because look at how they themselves report. They are exemplative of the seemingly impossible notion of woke leftists having so much as a semblance of self-awareness. Unlike the pampered writers for both MSNBC and The Intercept, Andy's knowledge of Antifa is not theoretical or friendly. He's actually been the victim of a physical attack from Antifa radicals. He's been subject to ongoing death threats, threats of violence from this supposedly tranquil group whose only goal in life is to expose the threats of the far right. I mean, such a deliberately sanitized portrait of Antifa could even remotely be characterized as reporting rather than the blatant partisanized propaganda that it is itself nothing less than a parody of repulsiveness. As it turns out, these left-wing activists disguised as journalists are the real hypocrites, and I'm about to show you exactly why. But first, in the midst of all of this economic insanity, my good friend Taylor Welch has created a brand new training series designed to help you fortify the number one tool that you have against any economic hardship, and that is your righteous mind. And it all comes straight out of the life experiences of one of the greatest leaders in all of world history, Sir Winston Churchill. In the Churchill Mindset series, Taylor masterfully walks you through Churchill's brilliant leadership choices. And then what Taylor does is he distills them into frameworks that you can use to face your biggest challenges. Click on the link below or head on over to welchequities.com/Turley right now to secure your copy of The Amazing Mind of Winston Churchill at their lowest price ever. Again, that's welchequities.com/Turley. So getting back to MSNBC, astonishingly, their concern over these Antifa accounts getting purged, I kid you not, is, quote, the chilling effect that it's going to have on speech. The very people want to police your pronouns. The very people who are openly calling for accounts to be silenced and suspended. The very people who have absolutely no problem whatsoever with the Hunter Biden bombshell being deliberately silenced and censored at the behest of government agents. Those very people are now concerned about free speech. Again, it's a parody of repulsiveness. Yesterday, the Washington Examiner reported on a new poll from TIPP that just came out on the trustworthiness of what they called the traditional media, what we would call the legacy media or the lamestream media. And the poll found that 61% of respondents have little to no trust at all in the legacy media. 6 out of 10 no longer see the legacy media as a reliable disseminator of information. Now, why is that? Well, the poll itself tells us. The one group that has overwhelming confidence in the media's trustworthiness is self-identified Democrats. The legacy media today is largely nothing more than a propaganda wing of Democrat policies and sentiments. If leftist voices are being silenced on social media platforms, it's the greatest affront to free speech ever. If right-wing voices get silenced, well, that's for public safety and national security. You see, this is what you get with your when your so-called free press becomes enslaved to partisan sentiments. Heads I win, tails you lose. You sweat, I glisten. If hypocrisy is to claim to adhere to standards that one's own behavior demurs from, there's no one more guilty of such than woke leftists. As always, make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button, and you'll definitely want to check out my latest video on President Trump, getting some incredible news about 2024, all as the GOP flips another seat. You could absolutely love it, so make sure to click on that link, and I'll see you over there. God bless.